example, today we have gathered here for the panel discussion for it. The global issue of violence against women requires immediate attention and a unified action, including a 16th day of activism campaign against the gender-based violence. This marks an accumulation within the Football for Goal initiative, jointly launched by the United Nations in Bhutan and Football Federation. Under the theme, Breaking the Stereotypes and Inspiring Dreams, Empowering Women Through Sports, this panel discussion is set to illuminate the hurdles and the possibilities of women and the girls in sports. The objective is to motivate the young girls to pursue their aspirations, challenges, and social stereotypes and contribute to female empowerment. This event aspires to be a source of empowerment, installing belief in the young girls to follow their dreams and actively participate in fostering inclusiveness and egalitarian society, but challenging stereotypes and advocating the female empowerment. This occasion is pivotal in driving the change and nurturing the upcoming generations of female athletes and leaders. Additionally, today commemorates the 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, emphasizing that it transcends its historical significance and serves as a perpetual guide to our shared humanity. With this, we shall commence our panel discussion. So, to introduce our panelists, our first panelist, Sunita Rai, who has played in women's national football team. The second panelist is 𝐁𝐫𝐞𝐚𝐤𝐢𝐧𝐠, who also is national team for the rifle shooting. And the third panelist, we have 𝐒𝐭𝐞𝐫𝐞𝐚, who is also the member of national basketball team. So the first question I would like to ask 𝐒𝐭𝐞𝐫𝐞𝐚, could you walk us through your career, like how did it start and how did you end up to the point where you are right now?
Oh, yes, thank you. So I actually started playing basketball in 8th grade, so class 8 now I started, and then there it was just kind of so we had to play a sport in school, so I chose basketball since most of my friends was playing that. So from there I started playing basketball, and when I used to come to Bhutan for my summer holidays, that's when I started playing here with my friends here, and then we formed a team and started playing the local tournaments. And finally they had when I was here in 2019, after I graduated college, there was a tryout for the women's national team. So I went for the training just to kind of improve my game, but then I ended up getting selected. So I represented Bhutan in the South Asian Games in Nepal in 2019, and last year in Maldives.
Shooting sports na lunga kadebe chama to isawajin 2012 na lu to khangi machigi ani armed force na lekhangi selection chon be tanale shooting na 2013 na lu join be session la data to sunse ge bana be origin Asian game da the Olympic this na halam chama to session.
I initiated my football career as an athlete who had love for running, but despite having interest in football, I wasn't initially inclined to give it a try because of a little feeling of little insecure about how it would turn out. But however, my coach, Mr. 𝐒𝐿𝐴, insisted me to give it a try, which I consider the best decision I have ever made in my life. And in addition to that, I'm very thankful to him for believing in me. I joined football academy from 2016, 2017 when I was just 16 years old, and I was at academy at Gelfu. I played Uganda Academy for 3 years, and after that I'm currently serving at Transport, and it's my second club. We were still playing as a part of senior women national team.
Listening to your story, what are the specific challenges being a female athlete? What were the specific challenges you had faced along the line, and has that problem evolved over the years and has become quite a positive thing in your perspective?
The challenges that I faced as a female footballer, the first one is as a women, we have a very weak mentality. Like if we are given one task, we don't have that strong mentality like men do, and which I feel like it's very important to have a very strong mentality to pursue any dreams. And the second one would be prioritizing sports over studies. Like most of the parents don't allow them
the ngazum chi bewa chin tan gi la ngoma ti bewa chin tan royal bhutan police na be the duty che be mo la ti thalo na de merit chi be ti thalo alu chi an do dalo tanga chi women ti ta sports na lu chama to go de challenge the last year to shunila the india best show chi royal bhutan police na le the duty ti be mongo pe te dinale full time athlete be benitegi as ti thalo shunila te ingra the ngachi women ti ani sports nalu the ngachi challenge the last year thomas shunda kajma la sta shooting na zamchi be watching the ngachi mindset mola the ngachi score zamchi be watching the 10 go phaptam chi meto wala the 10.9 in the nar phugam de the pressure the sense thobe mola ti thalo ngachi taro mindset te atsilujum be juma so ani bodalo pressure thop bodalo la khachapne se shuni.
For me, I think the biggest challenge I faced is maybe general, like as an athlete, not maybe as a female, but it was balancing my career and my training times. Because I think when in Bhutan, perhaps is like when there's a international tournament coming up, training starts like few months before that tournament, and then it's really like concentrated. So in that few months before the tournament, it was like we were training 3 hours in the evening, 2 hours in the morning. So it was really taxing on my body because we're not used to like 5 hours of exercise every day, right? So that really affected me, and it was challenging. But I think I overcame it by, you just kind of do your own research, personal research. So you research like, oh, okay, athletes have to have a balanced diet. So I changed my diet a bit, and time management was also crucial. And specifically as a female, what I faced, and maybe my team faced, is that we're a women's team, right? So, but all our, like the decision makers, I would say, are male. Like our head coach is a male, and then the assistant coach is also a male, and then I guess our basketball key, the president, the secretary, all of them, they're all male. So the key decision makers are all male. So I guess they don't necessarily take into account like the female key, how our bodies, what our body needs are. Maybe approach to training should be different. So I think that is one of the biggest challenges as a female athlete.
Because as you had talked about the lack of female representative at the top level when they make the decisions, So how do you think, to what point do you think it is important to have inclusive and diverse panels of like decision-making body in your perspective?
So for decision makings, of course, if you're making decisions about both male and female athletes, then it's important to include both male and female decision makers, because our bodies are not built the same. Our needs are probably different as well, and even our emotional capacity is different, right? Like and the kinds of challenges the females and the males face, it's different. So to tackle these challenges and the potentials of both females and males, it's important to have good representation of both at the top decision-making level.
Okay, so do you have any kind of a solution that you would like to propose? So that you will have more like an inclusive body that makes the decisions, maybe sort of like advocate like more women to study higher in sports, something like that, so that they can have a higher position in decision-making body, something like that.
First, of course, I think short term, it's if you can just have 1 or 2 places for women in these decision-making positions. But I think long term is if maybe our younger girls are encouraged more to play sports, right? Because right now I feel like young girls, they're not really too encouraged to play sports, because if you look at it, all the tournaments are very male-centric. There's not a lot of females, so if they don't see participation, then they don't feel like going also. Even those that are passionate get discouraged, right? So and after a while they give up once they start growing up. So encouraging sports in younger girls, I think, and then as they grow up, they'll become these decision makers.
Pinchuk, I want to ask you about, as you have stated earlier, that women athletes do face quite complications, difficulties, as well as you said you were a mother. How important is it, mother, for a young girl like yourself, to have a role model in their life, to have a sporting career?
To be honest, during my when I started football, I hadn't had any role models. Like, I grew up watching young boys playing football who had so much interest and love towards football. But flashing back to the time, I regret having no one, because role model usually is a person who is very perfect to you, who have seen a so much far better world than you. So that's why, if I had one back that time, then I believe that I would become a better version of myself compared to the one I am today. So it's very much important to have a role model now.
Sina, what about your role model?
In sports, to be honest, all my role models growing up, they were in basketball. They're male, so I guess that says a lot. Like, we need female role models, because I think mentally also it kind of shows you what's possible, right? Because the first time something is done, it's really hard, and then from there, I think it gets easier and easier, right? Because then everyone's mindset changes, I guess, whoever is like passionate about it. So yeah, so I would say.
So do you see yourself as somebody's role model in the future?
As a basketball player, since I would say we're not like at the level of like performing like the best internationally, right? So I wouldn't say I'm a role model in terms of like as a basketball player, but hopefully maybe I can be a role model in the sense that I've tried a sport and I've given it my best, and even though we couldn't be the best, we're still trying, and that mindset passes on to someone else.
Moving on, so like, do you think shooting rifle has the capacity to change the society?
The shooting sports jump say shunimila the sports karana imbelate namsame pinto the only message shunila the pe shooting guja vishwachila the shooting that the ngachi kar mindset ki bindila the thokalo rangi balance gobemola the physically fit gobela the pe chontomichi bewachin the mapule bemisu session la kachonda ngachi balance gomola the thokalo mindset la the namsame chagela dromi chibe the hazum chibe bewachin the shooting chamlu session la the physically fit bewachin ta ngachi almost 1.5 hours long de gomola hani bodalo dinalo namsame finto bomra do session la.
Do you think like your organization, put under preparation, has it taken any steps so that it represents more women athletes?
Yes, like hima watching football start be with the any sports any football and see with the hima just the academic training gym and schooling facilities this is that we watching the. Despite that, schooling facilities, and training, as a senior, monthly and salary system, it's encouraging people to involve in football sports.
Yes, I think what advice would you like to give the young girls which are aspiring to be just like you?
So my advice to young girls who hope to be professional athletes is firstly, I think the first thing is that consistency is key. So you have to find a good support system, right? So if you have good teammates, you get along well with your coach, that makes showing up much easier. And I think showing up is 90% of the work. So I would suggest try to find a good support system. And then secondly, I would say try to have a growth mindset. I've seen because what we think is that people who are built to be athletes, right, they become the best athletes, but that's not the case. Usually the best athletes are the people who work hard, and they have very average body builds, and but because they worked hard, they showed up, they became the best in their sport. So I would say don't get discouraged by things like your your physique, and I would say work hard, because I think hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, right? Yeah, so that's my advice.
Okay, what about Tinchuk ma'am?
Plus the sports ki demo la ta ngarazum chi bro chi de nga de ta chi lo chi 21 dem sa cham chi sports na zeba la am do lo ta ngara experience na le show chin da ta chi bum de so mo la men de so chungu bandera nga chi ko lo ani kokap chin la te kokap chin da lo ta chi bum de so ra agi bemi tsupni mese chap pe ma de wa rangi life na lo rangi go set chi be go se shunda go set be tan te agi bemi tsupni mese lemba sports the football na berchina football na bemi su se no china jemi china cham to mo la te tar dinai be ma so shin jemi na ne be sports kam che do mo la ta zo na lo karan na lo cham to ta be te rangi life na lo nga ya na be su ni mese no chin te digi ra be tsura tsu se shuni te sports ki di rangi life na lo mo la te balance बेसुवे से शुने ता तिगा दा छतो तरना ब्रशिंग ते स्पोर्ट्स कृष्णा बिरोरा रंगी स्टाफिंग चिदे थोबे मोला तरंगी ऑन फिट पे दुसुवे से शुने तान बदलो सोसाइटी ना रो मी दुसुगी ते कचे ला मे मोला छुयानी बिमिसु कोजा कशपिनी आजुबे लते बेसचु रंगी रा माइंडसेट ते पिसबे माइंडसेट नस स्ट्रांग जशिना ते ने बेगोप्ती नस खाचे से शुनिला.
Thank you, Sunita. What about you?
For me, being focused and prioritizing one thing of another. Like if you want to take sports, like if you want to involve in football, it's not that you don't have to have a backup plan. You need to have that, but if you are doing one thing, you need to be very focused at it so that you can have a better result.
What future do you see in women's or girls sporting? Do you see any future in that?
The rangi mitsenalu rangi ra on fitna de watchmola. The bundesudi rangianita has been disnalu diben be modeva be mangova be sports nalu chamato be watching the rangi ra be sasuvis shunila the hemada chaptadi tadi Kati any sports kalsum china zidi bistrumala ani rano koka bomb la tu seshunda rangi future na de rangi ra be sasu be seshuni ejimi job so so be dego azum chiti metan be seshunla.
Is there any future in sporting career?
I think if the investments are made and the priorities are set, of course there's a future in women in sports in Bhutan. We've seen with all the other sports, if you dedicate time, you have a good coach, you have good infrastructure, and then the athletes are trained well, they have the good techniques, they're capable of achieving good results. So it just basically depends on whether we put in the effort and the time to make sure that these our women in sports excel, because I do believe everyone has the capacity as long as they're given the means to achieve it.
Sunita, what do you think? Is there any future in women's sporting?
Football, I think about watching the football, especially the senior national team, the exposure to mom, friendly matches to mom, the result of the television, the future, the facilities.